Welcome to Politics NY's newest video series in the community sponsored by AARP. I'm Robert Posaricki, Executive Editor of AM New York Metro. Today we'll be in the community with City Council member Julie Wan of Queens. She represents the 26th district covering the neighborhoods of Sunnyside, Woodside, Long Island City, Astoria, and Dutch Kills. In June, she easily won the Democratic nomination and advanced to the general election in November, where she'll seek to continue the term she won 2 years ago. Councilmember Wan, great to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Rob. It's good to see you. Always good to be on Politics NY.
Glad to hear that. So let's start with the topic of ageism, which is something that permeates across all aspects of life for seniors in New York, from in the workplace to street design to public transportation systems to services that are promoted and access to the environment, everything. What is one ageism issue that has had an impact on your community specifically, and how do you address it?
I mean, it's an intersectional issue for all of us throughout the city that we're feeling right now with the increase in homelessness as well as the migrant crisis, but it's affordable housing. Within my year and a half in office, we've had 2,495 cases, and 35%, which means about 880 cases, are all for housing and security cases for my seniors. So HRA, NYCHA, HPD, legal services, SCREE and DREE. And they're all from our senior population who are struggling to stay in their homes.
So currently the AARP is updating the data in the Livability Index, which you can find online at aarp.org. That scores neighborhoods and communities across the United States for various services and amenities, such as housing, transportation, and health. Councilmember, what are some of those challenges in your district, and how are you using your position as City Council to make the area more livable for your residents?
Yeah, I think it's really clear from speaking directly with my seniors as well. I visit every single senior center in my district, including all the NYCHAs, as well as senior services at Sunnyside Community Center and Hannock. And it's very clear that all of our issues, it takes resources. So this fiscal year, I've designated $2,780,000 to my seniors, and it goes to our adult centers and making sure that they have well-rounded quality of life. So we also made sure that we have senior arts programming for $75,000 across all of the senior centers. And we also make sure that they have home delivery meals, hot meals, and we also have in-community sessions in all of our community centers so that they are in fellowship with one another and they're able to make sure that they have caseworkers right on hand, because we also have to understand Zoom does not work for everyone, email does not work for everyone. And because of that, we make sure that we have in-person services available, but we also are investing in technology classes for our seniors so that they're not left behind.
It's fantastic. Is there a specific senior issue you would like to see additional funding given in the next year?
Well, I think it's not just one issue, but really for their quality of life, we need to make sure that they have mobility. So continuing to have accessible rides and transportation available for them. And we also have to make sure that we have food deliveries for inbound, homebound seniors, as well as in-person hot meals for when they want to be in community with one another. Because we know that during COVID, one of the most heartfelt things that I saw coming back from COVID at our senior center are people hugging and crying, holding each other, saying, man, those were some really lonely 2 years by myself in my apartment where I couldn't see family or friends. And that is not something that you can fabricate. Community is something that has to happen naturally, but we just have to create the space for it and make sure that there's food involved, because everyone loves to break bread together.
How very true that is. Let's talk about the district as a whole, your district. What would you say is the top issue you've heard from your constituents over the past year, and how have you addressed it?
I think it's what we were talking about right in the beginning, the intersectionality of how affordable housing or the housing crisis or housing insecurity, it does not discriminate by age, it does not discriminate by your race, it does not discriminate by your gender, but it is just felt across the board across my district, especially because I've had the highest amount of development in all of Queens, where rent right now for a 2-bedroom is $6,000 to $8,000 in Long Island City. Can you imagine trying to make up that rent? And day by day, I hear more and more stories about eviction cases and people who are struggling to make rent. And it is on us as the government to make sure that we are investing in affordable housing, as well as investing in maintaining affordable housing, like the Big Six Towers, a Mitchell Lama co-op that I have in my district, so that we can keep working families in their homes.
Okay, and finally, is there anyone whom you worked with in the district over the past year that you'd like to be recognized for their positive impact in the community?
Since we're focusing on seniors, I really want to give a special shout out to Curly Serrano. She works for Sunnyside Community Services, and I'll see her on the street walking around because she's a neighborhood person as well as at events, and the ways that the seniors light up when they see her, especially because we have a large aging population of the Latino community who speak Spanish. And her ability to be bilingual and the ways that she could comfort them and also guide them is really amazing to see. And we are so grateful for all of her service to our seniors.
That's terrific. Well, Councilmember Juan, thank you very much for joining us today. And that's all the time we have for this installment of In the Community With, sponsored by AARP. I'm Robert Pozaricki. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Robert. Have a good one.
You too.